Welcome back to another video here at Piano Music and Repair. Today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to replace a key top on your grand or upright piano. So what we're going to do, this key we have here is pretty gobbled and ate up. So there's glue on it everywhere, if you can see right here. And I have somebody here. He's going to be watching today, learning some stuff about pianos. He's interested in them and stuff, so we're going to be showing him how to do stuff. So, we're going to be sanding on this key because the glue is everywhere and the wood's chipped, and we're going to try to get this smooth. And you can hear it where it's veneered right there and other stuff, and everything's just caked up on it because this key has been missing a top for years. So, and I've had this piano for about a year, and today's the first time I can do something with it. So, when a key like this is badly like this, you want to try to get it down and smooth and flat because you don't want the key top to bend when it's on the key. So, you don't want to go to extreme measures, but when the key is like this in this kind of condition, then you want to take a mouse sander or something. You can just use plain sandpaper, but it will take a good bit, and you don't want to go crazy with it, but you want to when a key is like this and it's ate up and it's chipped like that, then you kind of have no other choice but the other keys on this piano are perfect. The key tops are I'm not 100%, but I think that the original. So we're gonna be going and we're gonna be working on this key top. So we're gonna go in the garage. We're gonna sand on it. So alrighty, so we got the key top in the garage here. We're gonna use the sandpaper on it. Like I said, we're not going to go extreme on this key top. We just want to get it pretty good and smooth. So we're going to start about right here, and we're going to go down and back maybe like 1 or 2 or 3 times. And then that'll be all we do, because the sides and the bottom and everything else, they're pretty good. We just want to get the top leveled and even down. So we'll back up here away from the camera, dude, because I don't want to get him coated in sawdust. I'll try it right there, see how it does. It's decently smooth, but we need to go some more. We got the back decent. You just want to get the key top really smooth. It's pretty much there. Got a little bit of a high point right there. Now right here on this part, on the top right here, I can probably just use this scrape like this on the sandpaper. But we got it pretty good down there. We're going to do it like maybe a little bit more just to get it nice and even. Like I said, you don't want to go too much on these keys because it can be really easy to tear into them and really, if you go too far, then your key top will be lower than the other keys, and your key will call weird, so you don't want to go too far, just enough. Just like that. And I need a little bit more in here, that should be good. Just like that. And there's going to be a little bit of brown sticking out, but hey, that's perfectly fine. But the key is flat enough to where I can put the top on now. So, and this right here, I'm not going to turn the mouse sander on, but I just want to smooth it down a little bit. And you can, some people use a file to smooth the key top down. I don't recommend using a file until the key top's on because it's just not really meant for wood like that. And I'll show you another way. Thing on. So this part right here is already pretty smooth. So now once we got all that smoothened up, and you can see the key is pretty much all the glue is off the key top. It's nice and flat. This right here is a little down. That's not going to affect the key at all because I'm going to have glue in there that's going to hold it up. So now that we got that done, we can go ahead and when you handle a sander like this and a piano key, you always want to wash your hands and you want to dust the key off because you don't want any, it'll affect the sticking of the glue when you put the key top on. So you want to take a cloth and dust the top off, and you want to wash your hands good. So let's go ahead back in here and get ready to put the key top on. Alrighty, so now when we got our key sanded off, you can see how smooth it is. And I'm just going to use my shirt to dust it. To take the excess dust off of the key and all that. You just want to get the key nice, and you want to get all the sawdust off if you can. And then, once you get all that off, then you can go ahead and start with your key top. So, in most cases, key tops will be bigger than your key, and that's actually a good thing. Believe it or not, because if you're working with a piano with bigger keys than this, which is possible like in a larger concert grand, then your keys can get really big. This is about a concert grand size right now. Sometimes you have to file them down, sometimes you don't. And what you want to do is you want to push it on there. And as you can see, if you bring the camera here closer, you can see that there's the 88 mark right there. And I'm going to push it back. So everybody knows this is the 88th key, so I'm not going to put extra time into doing that. Now, if I was working on a professional piano, or I was working on if I was restoring a piano to sell, then yes, I would worry about that. But if it's your own piano and you are just doing this so it'll look better, then I wouldn't really worry about it, because you're not even going to see this from the actual outside of the piano, because this part's going to be in behind the piano, so you ain't going to be able to see it. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that's cleared off, and you want to make sure, because sometimes I'll end up doing some filing here later. And now what you want to do, you want to have a clamp right here to hold the key in place. You can use two, but I have one right now. And then you're supposed to use PVC glue specifically for pianos, but I don't have any of that. I forgot. I should have ordered some, and I didn't. So I'm just going to use some really powerful super glue here. So what I want to do is I want to take the key top off, and I'm just going to get the glue in. I'm going to smear it in. Now, one thing I want to avoid is getting glue in that hole, because if I get it in the hole, it's going to go through. I'll push that in there. It's going to go through, and you can see the end of the glue. It's going to go in, it's going to sink through, and it'll go into my piano, which I don't want happening. So I don't want glue on my piano finish. So, just going to spray, get a good coat right there. Just go, like I said, I'm going to try not to get that hole. Just like that. Now, try to get, and now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my key top, and I'm going to very gently fit it on there. Just like that. And you probably will end up getting glue on your hands. Like I said, it happens. And once that's on there, you can kind of get it lined up to how you need it. You press the key down, just like that. And see, I already got super glue on my hand, and I hate that feeling of super glue. Don't you hate that feeling when super glue goes on your hands?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. But yeah, you just want that to get on there. Just like that. And what I'll do after that's on there is I'll take a clamp here, and that's on. And I'll fit it over the key. And I'll push down just so that holds in place like it should. So once that's down, you can kind of see the glue coming from the other side. And that's completely normal to see. And when your clamp's on there, your key's gonna, the clamp's just gonna hold it down so it don't move, because the more the key moves, the more filing you'll have to do. And then what you can do sometimes is you can take the glue and be very gentle with it. And let it soak down inside there. We'll go in the corner. Just like that. And let enough glue sink in there. And I'm going to push that end down as well. Like I said, my hands will stick to these keys every now and then. I hate the feeling of super glue on my hands. Look at this. And believe it or not, people use super glue. They'll put super glue on the ends of their hands when they play bass or guitar, and it helps the callus, which is really surprising. People do that all the time. But you just want to get your key top squeezed down in there nicely. And this side of the key top right here, as you can see, it's nice and smooth. So we're not going to have to do anything to that side. But this side over here, you can see it's sticking out just a tad bit. Can you see how it's sticking out right there? We're going to have to we're going to file that down. And if you don't file that down, what'll happen is when you put the key back in the piano, and if it's sticking out right here, like say this key's sticking out a little bit. See how it's perfect right there? If it's sticking out a little bit, it's going to catch on this black note and this A right here. It'll catch and it'll push these two down with it. And you don't want that happening. So you want to file the keys down. I have that problem on the one upstairs actually, and I need to work on that. But you want to avoid that. So once you get the glue on that, you want to, if you want to check for edges like this side, that whole one side is going to need to be filed down, which is not a big deal. You can use a file or some sandpaper. It's easier to use a file, but I have sandpaper. Like I said, I don't have the tools. I left my whole toolbox in North Carolina, so I got to get back and get that. So we're just going to wait for this key to dry for a couple more minutes, and then we're going to move the this. We're going to move it down, and then after that, we're going to file it, and we're going to put it back in the piano. Alrighty, so I've been leaving it here to dry for a little bit. Just been playing me some piano in the meantime. So now what I want to do, because if I don't have two key tops, if you're just using one clamp, I want to take the key top, I want to unclamp it here, and I want to go into right here. Do it that way. So, alright, I'll see y'all back in another 5-10 minutes. Alrighty, so we have this clamp on, and while this clamp's on, and we're about ready to take it off here in a few minutes, but while it's on, sometimes it's hard to get glue up in here on the front of the key top. Even though I put a dab of glue right there, it still didn't go through all the way. So you can see the key top still lifts out and moves, so we want to fix that. So what I'm going to do, and this is kind of a risky thing to do, but sometimes you don't really have any other option but to do it, is you want to take, see, trying to get a good hold of the key here. I'll take my hand here, and I'll kind of push out on the top. And like I said, you want your clamp to be right there, because when you're pushing out, it can push up on this, and that's why my clamp's there. And I'll take my fingernail, and I'll put it in there. And I'll dab me some glue in there. Just like that. And like I said, my finger got stuck to it. That happens. I hate it when that happens. But you just want to push that down and make sure it's good. And you'll before you put the key back in the piano, you'll want to I don't have any towels or anything to dry that excess off with, so I'm just gonna wipe it. But anyway, you just want to get as much excess glue off of that as you can. Like I said, I'm gonna be filing right here anyway, so like I said, just to get enough glue in there to hold that down. And sometimes you'll have to file after you put glue on there. So, sometimes you'll just have to file the extra glue down, which is totally fine, which, you know. And before I put the key top in, as you can see, the key top right here, it has glue on it. So I'll need to clean the key top really good before I put it back in the piano. So, but we're going to leave that clamp on there for just a little bit longer now that I've got this on there. And you can't really, it's hard, you can't really clamp this. I would clamp this, but you can't really clamp it because of the angle. You see, this super glue is pretty strong. You can't really clamp this because of the angle, because, you know, you can't really get a clamp under there. So, I would just push it down with your hands for a couple minutes. Just to, and don't, like, push, you know, everything. Just, you know, kind of do like that. And there's a slot on these grand piano keys. I can put my finger here in that slot and push that way. Just hold it down for about a minute or two, just to let the glue soak in. And then you should be good to go. Just, you know, like I said, I just got enough glue in there so that don't move, because you don't want this hitting the key slip right there. You don't want it hitting that. So we're just gonna let that dry a minute, and then we'll clean the key up and we'll put it in, see how she does. Alrighty, so I filed all this down right here. I filed this down. I got it pretty nice and even. As you can see, I got a little bit more sticking out here because I didn't file any of this yet. So, because my clamp's in the way. So, what I'm going to do, after that's there, after I file that, I'm going to move my clamp again. We'll move it over here. I'm going to move my clamp over here. I'm going to get in here. I'm going to keep messing that up. Now, when I get there, you can see right here, I need to file somewhere right here, so. You can use a file, or you can use an old piece of sandpaper. Sandpaper, I'm just going to file right here. Just to get it down so it doesn't stick out.
Still sticking out to you a bit. Okay, again, and now it is perfect. So, now I come over here. This is sticking out a little bit right here on this end.
So, of course, just want to file it down the same way. This will be a little more
tricky situation. That gives me cringe feelings. I know. It's so eerie. There it was. You want to try not to shave the top of the key topper or the front like that because you don't want to tear the gloss off of it because then it just won't look good. Alright, see how that looks. That's pretty good right there. Alright. Just take that.
Alright, now what we're going to do, after that's all filed down, we're just going to clean it off with just like a damp, like a wipe, like a damp rag. We're just going to clean it off, like a damp cloth, microfiber cloth. We're just going to clean this key top off, put it in the piano, and we'll see how it sounds. Now, you're going to need to pull the action out to get the keys out of the piano. So, I have another video that's going to tell you how to pull the action out because you have to get the keys out on any piano when you replace a top. So, we're going to go ahead and put this key back in the piano, and I'm going to film another video of how to pull the action out, and then we're going to see our results. So, let's do it. Alrighty, so we got the key top on right here, as you can see right here. It's not catching at all. And that's how you do it. So that's how you replace a key top on a grand piano. Feel free to join us for other videos. Leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. And also, feel free to ask any questions about anything. I will do my best to answer. And that's all for this video. See you guys.